mindset, and again, this is something that maaf ya nggak bisa bahasa Indonesia. English, sorry. Hi everyone. My name is Musikal. I'm the director of this production of Next to Normal. Thank you all so much for being here. It's so nice to see so many people so excited about this production. So a little brief overview of me. So I am actually I specialize in film more than theater. I studied in New York, and I came back and I figured with all of this education and this experience, I might as well use something and do something with it. And I think this was the perfect start of my professional career because it's such an important story. Like you said, it's important to speak about mental health issues, and I think this musical is especially special because it discusses topics that you don't normally hear discussed in, especially something like musical theater, which is usually, jazz hands and fun. And it is fun. I'm not trying to say it's not fun. It's very fun.
It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But it's also very touching and very relatable. Hopefully, a little not too relatable. It's quite sad in some ways, but enough where it might make you want to bring your tissues. So yeah. Very excited to have.
All right, nice.
Well, honestly, I'm going to speak on behalf of our producer, Aisha, right now. She brought Next to Normal in 2019 to Jakarta, so it was something she'd already done in the past, and it's sort of like a passion project for her that she brought me into, and then it became my passion project as well, because the story is so important, because it's such a poignant, important story, and the themes and the issues discussed in it are so specific, but also quite broad, where you can relate not maybe exactly to what happens, but at least parts of it. And I think it's important, especially in this day and age, to be speaking about topics like this. I'm sure you agree, and to be openly discussing it, so it's not so taboo. So this is our second time bringing this production, Next to Normal. I think for us it was just a very important discussion that needed to be had.
Wow. And then again, next question. Is there any specific elements that you put, like sounds or maybe like lighting? Can you please tell us more about that?
I think the biggest part of it is really the cast and the actors and the way that they deliver this.
Stop.
It's really up to them. It's from my part, I'm just like a guider. I just guide them to really embody these characters and understand these characters. And I think, especially with this particular cast, they've all taken such forget the word, but they've taken the time and the energy and the effort to really understand their character and understand that mindset. And again, this is something that people can relate to even a little bit. So I wouldn't say it was very difficult for them, but it is a very hard mindset to get into. And when you're watching them, you can see them get into that mindset. You don't see Brad Vargas anymore. You see Dan Goodman. And it's really incredible to see how they really embodied their characters individually, and how they tell their own stories through this musical. And I think that's the biggest way that this musical is so special, is how they have perceived it and how they are performing it. It's hard to not feel. The end of our rehearsals, it's always like everybody in the room, and that's due to them. So I just sort of guide them through that.
Wow, thank you so much.
bit.ly/stupid end-to-end is the quickest way to get there. If not, you can also go to our Instagram at New Art Collective, and find whatever information you need from there. And even if you don't want information, you can still follow us just for fun. We post very fun stuff. And also snippets. So if you want to see any snippets of the performance outside of what you see, no spoilers, but snippets of scenes, of blockings, of everything, you can go on our Instagram. And we also have a lot of resources, or we try to have a lot of resources about mental health and about grief, because it is a very important part of this story. I actually have a quick question for you.
Sure.
I want to ask, as somebody who specializes in grief, I think for me, Next to Normal is it's not just a story about a woman, it's a story about a family. So I'm curious to know your take on how grief affects a family. If one person is grieving, how does that affect the people around them, the people closest to them?
Ooh, such a tough question.